What's going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John back again. Second time recording. I don't know what is going on with my microphones, but there is something seriously wrong. So I hope that this is much better. John does look like he's slightly cloudy, but we can live with that. I don't mind that. He looks under the sea a little bit today. I don't know what's going on, but it's fine. We love that. We love him. Where's he going? What's going on? Oh, he's wiping. Oh, he's back. Oh, he's back.
See, my camera and my visual is fixed quicker than your audio. We've done that many videos. Moyes is 2.5 years stint. I'll be up by the time we get the video out.
Brilliant. Well, you broke the news already there, John. 2.5 years, David Moyes. Are you happy, my friend?
Yeah. You know, I think I'm happier than some Everton fans, but it is what it is. We spoke about this and current situation the club's in. I think it's the safest pair of hands that it could have been put in. 2.5 years. I'm surprised it's that long. Obviously, he didn't want just a 6-month deal. That was mooted the first time round. So it is what it is. We've got to get behind him. We spoke about this last night. We've got to get behind him, whoever the manager was. Now we know who it is. We've got to get behind him. We've got to get behind the players. Just get us over that line, and hopefully before May, just to get us into Bramley-Moore. He has spoke about that he's privileged to be taking us into the new stadium, and he wants Evertonians to get behind him and the team. It's good to hear from the chief executive from the freaking group saying they want David Moyes to, take Everton into a new era, which is good, and I was quite impressed as well the way the freaking group have acted on this. Sean Dyche had gone on Thursday, and 48 hours later, we've got a new manager in charge. So, they do get things done. They don't drag the heels like previous owners have done and took an age to do things. They've acted quickly, but I think we've got to because of the predicament the club's in.
Yeah, I think that's fair comments, all fair comments. And, people forget that, whether you wanted David Moyes or not, people forget that, David Moyes at times actually played some really good football. I watched us. I watched some great Everton sides over the years. Some great Everton goals. Goals are still shown now on the big screens before games. Leon Osman outside of the boot, Europe, back heels. I remember Kevin Moran carrying a ball against Swansea, 60 yards. Sunderland, 7-1. We remember all of these things, and they were all under David Moyes. And the one thing me and you spoke about in the first video that we recorded, which was 22 minutes long, which was awful because you can't hear me, was the fact that Goodison Park was a fortress. It was a fortress, and if you look at the amount of manager of the months he won, or I can't remember if he won a manager of the season, but he definitely won a lot of manager of the months at Everton. And I'm pretty sure there was like a year where we lost once at home. We dream of stats like that at the minute. Goodison Park isn't a fortress. My God.
Teams aren't frightened to come to Goodison Park anymore. And Goodison Park was known as a fortress. You listen to ex-players who have played against Everton at Goodison Park, and they speak about how noisy the crowds are and how close it is to the pitch and how hostile it can be. And you're in for a game when you played Everton at Goodison Park. No one comes to Everton now, worried about the atmosphere because there isn't any. It's like a morgue under the previous manager. It was quiet. There was nothing. There was no excitement. And you're quite right with what you say. The form under this first stint at Goodison Park was really, really good. We've got to replicate that again. We've got to do that again because, again, Everton, at one point, I think it was last season or the season before, our away form was actually better than our home form. Now, we've spoke on here about this, I think it was about 6 months ago, saying that how good our away form was compared to the home form. And it used to be the opposite way around. We couldn't win away from home. So we've got to pick points up away from home, but we've got to make Goodison Park a fortress again, get the majority of the points that we need to get us in this, keep us in this Premier League going into Bramley-Moore. The majority of the points have got to come from home. And this is why I said last night, whether you like it or not, we've got David Moyes, got to get behind him. We've got to get behind him and the team and push them and give them our support because we know the support's there when it's got to be. We've seen it under Frank Lampard. when we had to win to stay up and games like that. So we are capable of it, and we are going to have to do that again. And then the new era starts when we go to Bramley-Moore. But obviously, it looks like it'll probably be a whole new squad with the players that we've got losing. And I think he's the best, safest man for the job at the minute. What I did want to add, which I didn't mention in the first video, is rumour has it that Davy Weir could be coming as director of football, and rumours are going around that Kevin Thelwell didn't even have a say in the David Moyes appointment. That tells me that Kevin Thelwell's contract won't be renewed in the summer because he's out of contract. Davy Weir and David Moyes, I think, will work really well together. Davy Weir is well thought of now, working behind the scenes at clubs that he's been at and doing the job he's done. I think it'd work really well. Davy Weir and David Moyes obviously know each other. They've worked together. It'll be interesting to see if that one comes off, but I think we can say Kevin Thelwell won't be here next season.
Yeah, the only bit missing from that is me, because 2005-2006 season, we went to West Brom. David Weir was the captain. David Moyes was the manager, and Michael Davis was the club mascot. So, I mean, walking out holding David Weir's hand. I mean, my God, I was 13 years old. I wasn't exactly young. But it's great to get the band back together again. And you are right, David Weir is highly thought of. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, he's been at Brighton recently and he's done a good job. And he is highly thought of. We'll see. It's certainly not a negative. For me, I'm happy. And I know that there's lots of Everton fans that aren't, but I am happy. And, I feel comfortable with David Moyes. He gave me, apart from maybe one season under Martinez, he's given me the best time as being an Everton manager. European competition, fighting for, semi-finals. I mean, everyone talks about his final that he didn't win in 2009. Louis Saha scored a volley after 26 seconds. I was devastated that day. But he took on a very, very good Chelsea team. But he also got us to semi-finals a few times. We were 1-0 up against Liverpool and fell apart. We beat Manchester United on penalties. I don't think. I just think we might. I just think we can build. I just think this is an opportunity where it's almost a blank canvas for him. As long as he keeps us in the league, it's a blank canvas and we can go again. And I'm sure there's some clause in his contract that if Everton go down, David Moyes gets sacked, or, if it's not going the right way, you can be released, whatever it is. But all we've got to do is stay up. That's the be all and end all. We've got to stay up this season, and he can rebuild for the summer. And we've seen his recruitment before. We've seen his scouting network before. We've seen that he knows these people he can work with. So all in all, yeah, I'm good with it personally, John. I'm okay with it, and I do hope that we now kick on a little bit. We've got a bit of certainty. He's got 2 tough games coming up. 2 tough games, Villa at home and Tottenham at home, if I'm not mistaken. He's got to win one of them, in my opinion, just to get us off to a good start. I'm not expecting miracles. They're both better teams than Everton, but he's got to win one of them for me, in my opinion, just to get it going, get the momentum going.
Yeah, I think there's more chance of us beating Tottenham because we know they're very hot and cold. You never know which Tottenham team are going to turn up. Aston Villa, I watched them last night, second half, they were really good against Chelsea. So Everton are going to be up for the game on Wednesday. But what I will say, I think the crowds are going to be up for it, or the majority of the crowd are going to be up for it. And that gives everyone a lift. I think the players will be given a lift with a new face coming in, new ideas. The fans, the certain fans, have obviously been given a lift as well. But I do want to finish the video on echo what Michael said yesterday about the Everton fans who aren't happy with the acquisition of David Moyes. Listen, we get it. We get it. Why some fans aren't happy. And, certain things he said with the club and the way he treated the club with Baines and Fellaini. But it's gone. It's gone. And as I've said on here, we're not going to go out. Everton aren't a big, attractive club to go and attract a big name manager at the minute. Hopefully we will be in the future. But if David Moyes can come in and do for 2.5 years and, put some identity back in the club and put a few building blocks down, then we can kick on again if it's not under him after 2.5 years. But regardless whether you want him or not, the club is bigger than a manager, and the club is bigger than any individual player. It's our club. So if you don't want to get behind the manager, get behind the team and give the team your full support. Even if you're not happy with the acquisition of David Moyes, so be it. We get it. But just get behind the lads because they need us now more than anything up until May.
Yeah, spot on, John. I think that's fair. Any ideas where you think he's in terms of his transfers? You know, it looks like he I mean, I've been reading different things. It looks like he might want a central midfielder, a right winger. I can't imagine why. I can't imagine why when we've got such talented right wingers in Jesper Lindstrom and Jack Anderson. But one of those isn't a striker. Now, do you think it does look like Brozius? I mean, I hate to say, but it does look like a bad injury, and it looks like he won't play for Everton again. But we'll see. Are you cool with Beto, Chamiti, and Calvert-Lewin? Do you think there's enough there?
I think he gets more goals out of them, Michael, because we will play more expansive football. Do we think we can rely on them to score us enough goals? Certainly not. So we are going to have to chip in with goals from midfield, and there isn't enough there. So I get why he wants a right winger, and I think it's a central midfielder and a left back. That's what's being put around. Again, I said this on the previous video that we've done before, which we've had to re-record. For me, a striker more than anything. I think we need goals up top. You might see a completely different player in Calvert-Lewin now. Now Sean Dyche is going to think it was well known. It was publicly known that he didn't like his tactics. He didn't enjoy playing under him. He didn't necessarily really get on. David Moyes will come in, and everyone's got a fresh slate, Michael. Regardless of whether Beto and Calvert-Lewin and Chamiti are good enough to score us enough goals, regardless of that, everyone's on a clean slate now. It's a fresh start for the football club mid-season. It's not nice to say that because a change doesn't always work mid-season. But also, David Moyes will have been watching Everton games, so he will have seen from the outside in of what this club and what this team is lacking. He hasn't even done an interview yet, and if rumours are to be believed, he's already pinpointed 3 spots in the team that he'd like to strengthen in. So he knows what he's going into. But hopefully with a bit of, changing the mentality of these players, which David Moyes has got to do, you might get an extra 10-15% out of them. And that can mean a lot, Michael. When you're down there and your confidence is low, getting the mentality right before anything else can make a massive difference.
Yeah, and one thing I will say is, I've seen some fans going, well, how is he going to cope with the pressure? The fact that not everyone wanted him, if you get what I mean. There is a decent mix. I'd say it's probably 60-40 in favour of Moyes, but there's definitely a decent amount that either didn't want him or didn't want him for as long. But this is a situation he's used to at West Ham. They didn't want him back at West Ham. He won a European trophy. So,
he was 17th when he went there, wasn't he?
Say again?
17th when he went there, weren't he?
Yeah. I honestly think I'm not going to get too excited, but I weirdly have a very different mindset about where Everton Football Club could be in 2.5 years' time compared to now. I'm not going to share it yet, but I think I'm excited about where Everton Football Club could be, and I'm excited about the wrongs he could right. The fixing of the relationship between Everton fans and David Moyes. The headline statements: the Everton fans are a disgrace. The sale of Baines and Fellaini trying to get them done cheap. Blah 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 blah. He needs to right those wrongs for me, and I think now keeping us up, building for the future, a decent season next season, and building on that for the season after. That to me is exciting. So I've got nothing else to add, John, unless you have, my friend, and you see out the video.
Just adding back to that, what you said, he's got to right the wrongs, and there's no better way to right the wrongs than making sure Everton survive in the Premier League and taking us into that new ground in the Premier League, and getting results. That's the only way he's going to answer the critics and the people who didn't want him. And again, we get why you didn't. Now it's up to him to prove that 40% wrong that you've said it's 60 more in favour, that he is the right man for the job. You know, bring some decent transfers in, get the results what we needed, and then we push on. That's the only way you can answer these Everton fan critics. And as I say, we get it. You know, everyone's entitled to an opinion. I'll end it on this. I just think for the situation the football club's in, when we haven't got loads to spend in January, we couldn't afford to go and get a manager to pay compensation for, because that to get in again into the January budget with the PSR that we've still got hanging over us. So it hasn't cost us nothing. Just think it was the safest pair of hands, and hopefully he can push us on and give us our club back more than anything. And that's it. That's it. Michael, I was waiting for Michael to say. Right, thanks very much for watching. This was your take 2. The audio, hopefully the audio is better. We don't hear the audio when we're recording. It's only when it's uploaded. So please don't have a pop at us. There was a few had a pop at us last night saying they couldn't watch it because the audio was that bad. I watch all our videos back, and I watched the whole video, so it was watchable. Unfortunately, Michael is still on a Nokia with shit headphones. Recording it from his Mars box room. But yeah, if the audio is poor, we are going to try and fix it. Maybe it's not the phone, maybe it's the platform that we use to do these videos. We will see. So we're going to leave it there. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Any massive breaking news that comes out before we do the match preview for Wednesday, which will be out on Monday, we will jump back on again and give the news to you first hand.
Yeah, if there's any affluent fans out there that want to give me and John a bit of cash for new laptops, cameras, and equipment, we're never going to say no to that, of course. So if there is anyone out there that wants to sponsor the channel and has got all of these fantastic gadgets that we can use, by all means, just get in touch with the channel and we will be happily.
And if you have got a business that supplies that sort of stuff, we will give you a shout out at the beginning and at the end of every video forever.
Yeah, and John will have the business logo tattooed on his forehead.
Yeah. I think it'll fit on yours, the size of yours. Jesus Christ.
I haven't got a forehead, I've got a 6 head. Right, guys, see you soon. Peace.